So how is this relevant to Thomas Sowell and the gender wage pay gap and all that sort of stuff? Well, the same examples I gave of basketball is is equally valid in other aspects. Pretty much any area that uses statistics. There are things that affect the statistics that the statistics don't necessarily show. And there are so many different variables that you can add or detract that will affect the end result data. So for example, if you look at here, this is the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and they did a study on women's earning in the year 2016. They give you a whole lot of data here. Data is very good. And but with every study, and it's just the nature of study, you can't always include everything. It leaves out certain things. Now I'm going to show you a chart, and then we're going to look at Thomas Sowell. Now in this study, we're going to look at this first chart. This excuse me, this website has several charts showing you the wage gap between men and women. So this graph here is the total men and total women. The women is the dark blue, men is the light blue, and it compares how much they get paid. So if you're just looking at these graphs here, in general, in the United States, women get paid less than men. White women, here's the gap between white women and white men. Here's the gap between African American women and African American men. And look at this gap here between Asian women and Asian men. And then you have Hispanic and Latinos right here, just to finish off the graph. Now, so people see this and they say women are being paid less than men, therefore there must be some kind of discrimination going on. The problem is there is a lot of factors that can affect this data right here, or there are other things that could be the cause of this other than discrimination. Now, my view on systemic discrimination is that it's impossible to prove it without first assuming it first. And what I mean by that is you can see something like this, and there are numerous reasons. There are numerous things that could possibly contribute to this. But I feel as though if you look at things objectively, then you wouldn't come to the conclusion that it's automatically discrimination, but that discrimination is possible, but other things are possible as well. I feel as though you have to assume that this is automatically discrimination, and then you work your way backwards to try to determine where it is. So that's my view. And I'm going to show you another chart to give you a little more context to this. And this one here, what this one here shows is it breaks up men and women. Again, the women is the dark blue and the men is the light blue. And what this does is this shows the breakup of the types of jobs that men and women work. So as you can see here in this first graph here, more women work in the management, business, and financial operations occupations. More women are professional and related occupations. More women are service occupations. More men, slightly more men are in sales. More women work in offices. More men work with natural resources. Significantly more men work with natural resources, and much more men work in production, transportation, and material. So men and women, they don't really work the same jobs. Now, someone may say that's a problem. They may look at this and say, oh, there's discrimination. But again, you kind of have to assume that. I mean, stats like this don't take into account people's ability to choose, and possible differences, which as a Christian man, I would say that there are differences between men and women in how the types of jobs they desire to work and their just natural demeanor, which makes them better at certain jobs. So there will be women working like in the mines or something like that. But generally speaking, men and women are built different physically and they're different emotionally. Therefore, they will like certain different things. That is a couple of things that could account for the fact that men and women work different jobs. Now, it may seem like common sense to some people. It may seem stupid to some people. The whole point is there's more to statistics than just looking at the end results. Equality of outcome, which means you look at end results and you say something's unequal here, therefore there's an inequality somewhere else. Looking for equality of result or equality of outcome ignores individuality, and it ignores the differences between men and women. It ignores the differences between races. There's a lot of different things that go on when you're dealing with people rather than numbers that you won't see if you're just looking at numbers. Even if you have millions of categories like what they have on this women's study here. They have a whole lot of data. But I'm going to show you another article that had stuff that kind of has some things that statistics, even with this wealth of data, still cannot account for.